All right, guys, on today's episode of Anabolic Activities, I'm with the man, the nutrition narc. We're going to be comparing diets, talking about some social media stuff because I have a lot of questions for him that I think could benefit you guys and everything else that comes with that. So we're going to get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Rice and Grinds, code Anabolic10. They have amazing products. They have almond butter with a ton of different flavors. They have cream of rice that's not so high in iron, much healthier for you, consistent digestion, tons of flavors. So make sure you go check them out. Use our code again, Anabolic10. It helps us. It'll help your gains, help your progress. So check that out.
Precious Blake. You can just call me Blake. For every once in a while, people like call me that in public, and it's just weird.
Is the shit, though. I mean, it's a great name. Where'd you come up with that?
I came up with it because I didn't want to have like Blake Sandberg Fitness, because like everyone does that. It's kind of cringe, you know. It's like unoriginal, and I didn't want it to be my name because I didn't want people to find me. Because when you're starting out on social media, like if you have no followers, people are gonna make fun of you. So like I just moved. I hate the word or the phrase, but like moved in silence. It's so cringe. But I just like didn't tell anyone. Just made social media and just started posting on my own. And of course I did well. And now now no one knows my name.
When did you start posting like that?
I started posting, I think it was either 2020 or 2021. I started posting on TikTok because like back then it was kind of like the Wild West. Like there was so much misinformation. Like you think there's misinformation now. Back then it was like wild, and people had the worst diet hacks ever. Like they had the worst taste buds. They would always suggest like products that were terrible. Like have you ever had Walden Farm stuff?
Yeah.
Like, you know how bad it tastes?
It tastes like
shit. Yeah, all of the stuff tastes terrible. That was what people would recommend back then. They'd be like, Walden Farm syrup, you know, their chocolates, like everything they would suggest was just terrible.
Yep.
And back then, I would just kind of like, I was dieting at the time, and I didn't have a job. I didn't do anything, so I would just go to the grocery store like 3-4 times a week, and I would just go and look at like labels and like look at all food I couldn't eat, and then I would just like try different stuff. And I found out what was good and what was terrible.
Damn, that's what I've heard about TikTok, like in the very beginning. I know a couple people who just posted one video and blew up and got all of their following. Like back then, I'm like, damn, I should have done that.
The first video I ever made did really well. I think it had like over 100K views. So it was like, it was so easy. That sounds so easy, but like I just got really lucky. Like that's what I think. It's just like, I was incredibly fortunate to be like in that position. And obviously like when you get views, it's like really easy to keep making more videos. So like people would like watch it and they would comment and like ask a question, then I just reply to a comment, and then it was all going up. I think I got like 10,000 followers on TikTok within a month for sure. And then it was just, you know, back in the early days, bro, it was so easy. I would gain like 500 to like 2,000 followers a day for like, and now that's like a lot harder to do nowadays. I don't know if it's because like saturation, more people are like making videos, or I don't know if people are like more stingy with their follows, but
I was going to ask, why do you think it's hard now? Because shit.
I would think
I attempted.
But you obviously, like, you kind of fell off, right?
I did.
You got it. Number one advice I'd give anyone is consistently post. You have to post more than once a day for like a long time.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there some type of blueprint that you followed? Like, do you still follow it, or did you just follow it in the beginning, get your following, and then kind of do what you want after?
Not really. I kind of just try to consistently post. So myself right now, I'll do like 3 or 4 videos a day. And I try to make them good videos. And like good videos in the sense of like ones that get views. So I'll try to not like cover topics that no one cares about. And like I've made probably over 3,000 videos at this point. So I kind of know what ones are going to do well. So I kind of lean into that. And then I just kind of repeat stuff that has done well in the past. Because if you have like a huge catalog of videos, you can kind of like in a way recycle content, and in a way you kind of know what your audience wants. So I'll just say consistently post over like a long period of time and just keep trying to improve your content in like some way or another. Like I don't think what I do is like very unique. Like anyone could basically have my page and like have the exact same following.
Okay, so selfish questions here, but I hope it helps a lot of you guys because I know you struggle with this. So how did you get over, my biggest thing at the moment is getting over, I guess, caring what people think. Like if I start posting, because I have like 3,400 followers. If I just start I know if I start posting 3-4 times a week, people are going to be like, I'm worried about basically what the fuck people are gonna think. They're gonna be like, this kid's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
So did you ever have to get over that, or did you just send it and just?
So that was kind of like a. I struggled with the same thing as well, especially when I first started. So that's why I made like the secret account, and that's why I made like a separate account. Like this wasn't my normal Instagram. This wasn't my normal TikTok. I made a completely separate account for both of the platforms to start fresh. So it's no one from my past. You know what I'm saying? It's not like my family. It's not my friends. And I think that really helped me because then you have like no inhibitions about posting. You don't care. So I don't know if is that your only Instagram, the one I know.
Yep.
So yeah, I would. If you're like worried about like other people seeing it, I would either not care at all, which is easier said than done, or start a fresh one that tell no one, because you don't care. Like your 300 closest friends or whatever you have, like you don't really care if they watch your content. You want 100,000 other people or however many you want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're worried about like what, like little like 300 people are saying when you're going for like a much bigger fish.
Right. So then. This is also a selfish question, but
these are good questions. It's not selfish.
I'm genuinely, interested in all of this because this is where you're at, is where I would love to be. I can't even imagine. I'm not trying to be like a, clout chasing. I'm not trying to suck him off because he has a big following, but I just can't imagine myself having. Even just 10K followers, which I know is nothing, seems way out of reach for me. But how long did it take to get to where you're at now?
So, like I said, when I first started posting, I got like 10K within the first month. I probably got 50K within like 4 months.
On TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok. This is TikTok. I didn't start posting on Instagram up until like maybe a year ago. I would highly recommend posting on Instagram. Like, Instagram's the easiest to grow on, especially right now. Like, I know people who will post a video and get like 50K followers. It's like Instagram is like mouth breather like content, like the dumbest people, like Instagram comments. Have you ever seen like the comments on TikTok where like post this on IG Reels?
Yeah.
Because it's like they'll like it way more. Like the Instagram Reels algorithm is like very favorable. Like I started a year ago probably with that, and I've grown to 200,000. So I would 100% go to Instagram Reels, and also I'd post everywhere because you're already making the video. You're doing the tough part of making it. The easy part is posting it all over. But I think you could easily get like if I was in charge of you or whatever, I think you can easily get 10K in like 3 months, easy. But you need to post, bro. Like you can't just be not posting and be like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's true.
That's your biggest downfall.
That's true. I do.
You want it, but then you're not working for it.
Yeah, I was telling that's facts. I was telling Wyatt Films. I'm like, dude, I honestly, it's not like I hate to film like myself on my own phone, like my workouts and stuff like that, or even just some posing. If you look at my drafts or you look at my phone, I have albums categorized. I have a bunch of shit, and I'll look at it every single day, and I'll be like, "Oh, that looks, I should post that." And then it's like a fucking I don't want to get canceled for this. It's like a disability almost, because I'm sitting on my phone, and I'm just like, oh, this is sick. Like I would like this if someone else posted it, and then okay, we're not gonna post it.
What is it?
I make some excuse in my head to where I'm like, oh, I don't look good enough, or I look small, or I don't look lean enough, or I'm too far out of my show because I know I'm gonna look better than this, so I can't post this now.
Bro, you're like a chick. This is so bad.
No, yeah, I know, dude. And that's what goes through my brain, and then I end up just finding a lot of excuses to just not post it, and I'll just keep it in my phone forever. And then months go by, like recently, I have like 3-4 months worth of videos, and then I'm like, okay, well, if I can't post them all at the same time so everybody can see all of them, I'm just not going to post any of them. So it's definitely a mind fuck for me, and nobody, told me bodybuilding would be so body dysmorphic.
I feel like you have to think like no one ever got big with that mindset, like social media wise. No one ever got big because they were scared of posting or whatever. And that's also kind of like the barrier to entry. Like that's what everyone goes through is like they're nervous to post, or they don't want to see their friends to like see it. That's kind of like, you have to think about it like this is the obstacle in your way of getting what you want.
Right.
And so like this is what's separating from like unsuccessful versus successful, or like men from boys. Like that's what I thought. I remember when I first was like starting to post. I think one of my friends like found my account when I had like 6,000 followers, and he was like making fun of me. And I remember I thought of like deleting it right there and just like quitting. But then I was like, oh, this is like a pivotal moment. Like either I can quit and be like a bitch, or I can like keep going and like get the last laugh when like I make it.
Right.
And so like you have to like, you're at that fork right now. Like you have to think about that fork every single time you go to upload and close the app. Like you you just lost. Like you lost the battle closing the app.
Yeah, I'll be vulnerable. More so honest. I've been a bitch lately.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, letting that fucking, not to be dramatic, that voice in my head that's telling me, you look like shit. You look small. I've been letting that voice get me every single day. So, yeah, I definitely need to find a way to get over that. So that, because I have tons of fucking content. It's just, I find an excuse not to post it. And then Mark is also like, why aren't you posting? And I'm like, well, you see.
Oh my God. So do you think everyone like smaller than you like is like looks like shit? Because if you're your own barrier, you know what I'm saying?
No. I see the good in every person, whether it's like a.
Okay, you don't gotta play it up for the camera. You can be honest with me here.
No. I swear to God.
You're being dead ass.
I swear to God.
So why don't you share the same whatever you call it, happiness towards yourself, or the same kindness to yourself? Sorry.
I think it's because for other people, it's like I'm aware. Like I'm like, okay, I know I'm bigger than this person, but that's not me being like, oh, I'm bigger than this motherfucker. It's
just like the
okay,
truth.
but this guy still has amazing fucking arms. He has amazing calves. I could pick apart people in a good way, but then when it comes to my physique, I'm like, I'm looking a little flat. I'm looking a little fat.
Why do you think that is? Did you not get many compliments as a child? Like the childhood trauma?
I don't know. I think maybe.
Do you have a dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, and maybe it's because.
Is he proud of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is. Maybe it's because I was super skinny, so every time I look in the mirror, I still sometimes feel skinny. I'm not trying to be dramatic either. I only see the shitty parts, and I do feel genuinely small sometimes, especially when I'm flat. But in the early days, when I was fucking skinny and I just started the gym, like noob gains, I was the most confident motherfucker you could meet. I was like, look at my biceps. I feel jacked. I am jacked. I'd wear tank tops. Now you won't really catch me in a tank top unless I have a pump. You won't catch me in shorts really ever. And you won't catch me posing unless we're in a posing room with great lighting and I have a pump.
When do you feel your best? When do you feel confident? Do you ever feel confident?
True confidence.
Is it like show day and that's it?
Probably.
Or do you probably feel small on show day, huh?
Yeah, well, I've only done one show. But on that day, I did feel, I was like, ooh, damn, I'm looking kind of freaky here. But really, man, as of lately, it hasn't been really at all. Like,
I think you have too much of your self-worth wrapped up in your physique, obviously. Yeah. I think you need to, like, that's why you talk about posting all of these videos and stuff, and everything you said kind of revolved around, like, the gym or your physique or bodybuilding. I think you should do another, like, you should take it from you should come at it from a different angle, being like a knowledge-based angle. Be like, look, I've gotten, this size, I've gotten this strength, here's what I did, like, here's the foods I eat, here's my opinion on something, because like everyone can have an opinion no matter what you look like. So like recently I showed them a video of like some lifts that I thought were fake. You could share your opinion on those. You could be like, oh, I'm a 500-pound squatter, and here's why I think this 500-pound squat is fake. Look at me, I'm relatively the same size as this guy, blah, blah, blah. Let me show you exactly. That'd be a great video right there. And it has nothing to do with like how you look.
That would be dope. I'm also an old man when it comes to social media, because you know how you do those, great videos on like the 0-calorie stuff. Yeah. I don't even know how to.
Bro, this is the wackest excuse ever. If you're gonna say you don't know how to duet, Google it.
I'm just being honest.
There's a solution. Google it. YouTube it. See, this is another.
How to get your face on the video?
Yeah, just call me or text me.
Hey.
Or you Google it. Like these are your problems. The things in your way are the smallest things I've ever heard. They're kind of being a bitch.
Hey.
No one's probably told you that. You need to get over this. Whatever, like
I
that
definitely.
is. You're an excuse maker.
Yeah, you could say that.
Which is weird because you're like so big and like strong and all this kind of stuff. Why are you making excuses?
Yeah, that's true. Because
You
I
know,
mean,
like,
I don't make.
You're not gonna get where you want. You're just gonna stay stagnant forever.
That's facts. Because I don't make any excuses when it comes to cardio, training,
Yeah, exactly.
diet. But then when it comes to social media, I'm just a bitch. So
Carry that same.
you know what?
Carry
I
that
guess
same
you're right.
attitude, bro.
I guess I am being a bitch.
You are. That like you're never gonna get like what
I'll own it.
I talked to you guys like 4 months ago or so. Barely posted since.
Yeah, that's facts.
Disappointed me.
Yeah.
You have a great. You have so many people around you that could help, like that are like a great source.
Yeah, you're right.
What are these? What are the other people around you say? Do you ask them these questions at all or no?
Not really. I mean, Mark has been like, "Why the fuck aren't you guys posting?" Or me.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, no, I don't really. I mean, I've asked Nsima a couple questions, but still, it goes over my head, and I just make an excuse.
Well,
So,
like what kind of? Exactly. You're an excuse maker.
yeah,
Why? I don't know what the solution to not being an excuse maker is.
I just have to force myself to do it.
Yeah. Plus,
Like
like
everything else, I force myself to do everything else, and when it comes to social media, I just find excuses all the time.
And look
to
at
not
it
do
from like the other side. Like I've got a ton of friends who were like overweight, extremely overweight, and they like lost weight and they feel like weak or they don't have the best physique and they still make a page and have like a following and like make their living from it. Like they have an incredible like platform and all this kind of stuff without a great physique. Like you have a great physique and you are still like coping.
Right.
So you have a big advantage. You should take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But the biggest weakness, you know what your weakest muscle is? Your brain. you need to get over it.
Yeah.
You just need to like I don't know the exact solution to it because I honestly didn't struggle with it as much as you did. So I can't say like I've been in your shoes in that part. But I feel like you just have to like put yourself out there more in the sense that like post more, get used to like rejection in a way, get used to like videos doing terrible, get used to getting no views, and then like build on that.
No, that's facts. Because anything that I've struggled with has been mental.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense. I just need to find.
See, if you like succeed, you're saying the biggest problem is like your mentality. Like, let's say with everything else, you've like overcome it and like you've succeeded, right?
Yeah.
So if you overcome this, you'd succeed. In the same way.
That makes a lot of fun.
Like, what do you tell yourself when you don't want to do like cardio or don't want to go to the gym?
I just do it.
Yeah, you gotta just do it, bro. Like you gotta see it as like you know how you got a show day, like you have to show up lean.
Yeah.
Like think about it. If you have like an expiration date for social media, you gotta show up.
That's facts. Yeah, that is fucking wow. That makes a lot of sense. Not that I wasn't aware, but now I'm even more aware.
No one probably tells you, bro. Everyone just gets so comfortable. Everyone just probably is fine with your excuses.
No, that's.
What do you say when he gives the cameraman? What do you say when he gives excuses?
Well, it's like we've had conversations about it, but and we've had like this exact same conversation, and I'll tell him exactly like what.
Yeah.
We just had this conversation like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and babysit him and force him to be doing this stuff. It's just
Ooh.
like it's in his.
You gotta have it in you. That's true. That's why I said I don't know if there's a solution. You gotta have it in you. You gotta want it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like think about it every time. Like you probably had friends who've wanted to lift before and like join you in the gym. Like you can ask them to come. You can tell them to come. You can like show them to do everything. But if they don't want to show up themselves, they're not gonna show up. They're just gonna skip.
Right.
Like they have to want it for themselves.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Cause I don't know. I'm not gonna make any more excuses, but
Hold him to it. Hold him to it, bro.
I mean, before I ever got into fitness, like, I honestly hate's a strong word. I disliked social media. I was definitely introverted, so I just never really used Instagram. So
Never even scrolled on it.
no, I scrolled on it.
I was the same way. Like,
But just posting, it was like it gave me so much anxiety because, again, like, you know, excuse. But you started the separate page. I have everybody that's known me for fucking however long. So I know that there's going to be judgment. I probably won't hear it or know of it. But that gave me anxiety. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is tough. I would struggle with the same thing if I posted on my personal page. That's why I made a separate page.
Yeah,
And
but
no inhibition, just secret. I'm a secret guy. I'm just an
Yeah.
internet guy. You don't know who I am.
no,
like,
that's pretty sick.
So if you wanna, I would highly suggest it because I did the same thing on Instagram. Even after, like I posted on TikTok and then like a year and a half later, I started an Instagram. Sorry, and I was still delayed. And that I made a separate Instagram, and that's when I started really like posting.
So you don't think I should just keep the same account and just try to build off of that?
Build off 3,400. You could get that in like 2 videos, easy. I think you should start. Yeah, I think if it helps you mentally, start fresh. Instead of a Kenny Williams account, do a
Okay.
I don't know,
like
the calorie cop. Just be
like
do something else because it sounds like you struggle with posting and like the mental side of it. So that would help for sure. It helped me a lot.
Yeah. Damn.
Because then think about it. If you have 0 followers, you're posting to no one. So what's there to be scared about?
Exactly.
You know, even if there's 10 people, what's there to be scared about? I'm trying to get bigger than that.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So you needed to do that.
I gotta stop being a bitch. people.
Bro, that's so funny.
But-
we can talk about something else now that
No. I have one more question
Yeah.
for you. As far as I'm sure everybody watching knows what Gorilla Mind is, and
Yeah.
like you're sponsored by a sick ass clothing company. These are all things that.
I'm not sponsored by Gorilla Mind anymore, by the way.
Okay, cut that.
You can keep that in. I'm with like Echo Clothing and Supplements now.
Oh, okay. So you were once sponsored by Gorilla Mind, and
Yeah.
now you're with Echo Supplements and Clothing, which is absolutely sick, especially for somebody like me who wants to be there. Stop making excuses. So how did you? I guess we just kind of explained it, but how did you get to that point? And also, is there like a level you have to hit for certain companies to be like? Is there like, oh, you only have 10K followers, so we can't give you money and actually pay you? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can say if I mean, you told us you're making a living, so I'm assuming you're getting some type of something from these companies.
So when I first started, it was like a lot harder than it is now. Like now it's easier than ever to get like sponsored, to be honest. When I first started, I just like focused mainly on like content and stuff, and then I would find like products I liked, like Pea Science protein. That was like my favorite protein. And so eventually, once I got like a following, I forget if I was at like 30 or 50,000 followers, I just hit them up in their email and was like, yo, like I'm this guy, this is what I do. Like here are some videos I made with your products before. I've been a big fan of like the company and the product. Do you have any like affiliate program or something you could do with that? And they like denied me at first. They're like, oh no, like you're not, I don't know. They just made some excuse or ghosted me.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I like would post about them more and more and more. And then I had a video with their protein do really well. And then I hit them up again. It was like, yo, I just had this video get like 2 million views. You know, it was featuring your protein, blah, blah, blah. And they took notice of that. They're like, oh, you know, we'll onboard you right away. And that's kind of like what first got me started. So it's kind of all about sales in a way, or like exposure. So you have to show like that you can, you know, drive sales, because that's what these companies really care about. It's a business. They want to make money at the end of the day. So that's how I first got started with them. And then over time, my sales just like grew and grew and grew, because I'd like do recipes with the protein and then just like talk about it in videos. You know, it just adds up and adds up and adds up. So then like when my sales grew, then so did like my income, obviously. So that's kind of how I got started with them. But now there's like so many companies on the TikTok shop that they could see that right away. So like you could tag a product in your video, and if it does well, like if you consistently sell, like you could reach out to them and they would like get you right away with like free product. They'd hook you up with, you know, like a salary, yada, yada, yada. And so now it's easier than ever with TikTok shop. That's what I would say. And I would always say, like, more than anything, focus on like your content, your like brand image, and like your social media like size and pages and like variety. And then like the sponsors will come to you. Like I get people hitting me up all the time trying to like sponsor me now, but it took like a long time to get there, obviously. And it's like they wanted to sponsor me because my content gets a lot of views, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
So it's always like that first. And I see people with like 5,000 followers trying to get sponsored. It's like, bro, even if you did get sponsored, you would sell like nothing. Like it takes a ton of eyes on the product to even make like one sale. So like focus on building like a platform first, and then I would say focus on like monetizing it second.
Right.
That'd be my recommendation.
This is good advice, people. You guys should follow this.
It is like, It is like a dream. It's like what I always wanted because like I get free subs now. It's like so cool. It's like I get.
No, yeah, that seemed like I said. Like I know I'm making excuses here. We just had a therapy session, but honestly, like that is.
It's like everyone's
sick.
dream. That's everyone's dream.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can't. I see all these other people. I watch all these other people on YouTube, and they just get to. Like, what does your day to day look like? Like, do you get to stay up all night and play fucking video games and like wake, or do these companies give you like you need to do this at this time?
So it's like different from company to company. Every company I've worked with has been like incredibly, what do you call it, like loose with their like guidelines and everything. So I would say as long as your sales are there, they don't care. Like, as long as you don't like say racist stuff or like choke a cat like that dude on Young LA, like they do not care. They don't even, yeah, they don't even check on me. Like I just like every once in a while I'll make videos about like, you know, the protein, it'll get sales, and then as long as the sales are there, like the income is still there, the salary is still there. So my day-to-day, like, yeah, so I'll wake up at like 9:30 or so, just like I just make so my day-to-day is I have to get like 3 to 4 videos out a day. I usually try to do maybe like 1 TikTok shop video a day or 1 like sponsored post, just kind of like to keep it like going, keep people's like just like there's always new stuff coming out too, so it's like incredibly easy to integrate. So yeah, I'll do like 3-4 videos a day. I'll go to the gym. I take a nap at 2 p.m. before I lift. Come home, make like another video, then like play some video games and chill out. That's literally like the dream life. Like I could not ask for anything more. I got incredibly lucky. But also you have to remember, like I post 3 videos every single day, no matter what. Every single day since I started my page, I've never missed a day. So, and it's been 2.5, 3 years or so. Okay, so I've never missed a day. Like it's easy work, but I've been there consistently every single day. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go on a bender this weekend and not post. Like posting always comes first, even like if it's not an insanely great video, even if it doesn't do amazing.
That's
dream life, yeah.
Yeah, that is the dream life. So
you're around other people with the dream life, like Mark, pretty much, right? Oh, like everyone.
He's living the fucking dream life for sure.
Like,
but yeah. So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire them off.
So the company you're with now, supplement and clothing.
Yes, sir.
I've heard of them. They're sick, but is it the owner? Mm-hmm. The guy that does the like training videos.
Oh.
On technique, like
you mean he's blonde guy?
Yeah.
Oh, TNF? He's not the owner. No, he's just an athlete. Joel's a real one. Shout out Joel. He's a very nice guy too.
No, he's dope. But
he knows a lot. He's very knowledgeable, bro.
Oh yeah.
See, like that's what he does have an amazing physique, and he's like extremely knowledgeable. So perfect combo. He's obviously does incredibly well. Like what I had 600,000+ followers. You have amazing physique. You just need to get it together. Combine that with something else, and then boom.
Yeah.
Like think about all the people that blow up without like, this is probably the route you think you're gonna go is like just posting your physique and being like, oh my god, like a shizzy route. You know what I'm saying? Everyone just like is amazed at like, but think about it, like he obviously has great content, but think of on the other side, like Sam Sulek has an amazing big physique and he talks and he's like the biggest thing ever. Like people love him.
Right.
So you got to add like some sort of spice to it. You got to add some sort of different element.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Make like a character or something. You know, like sketch. Be like a gym sketch or something.
Okay.
There's a million ways to do it. I see exactly.
So going into some of, you do content like, if you guys haven't seen his content, it's like, what I personally like is all the 0-calorie stuff you review, even though it still makes me hungry in prep.
You can't have 0-calorie stuff in prep? What are you talking about?
No, that's where
You can't have diet soda?
That leads us, I can have diet soda, but that's where this leads us into comparing diets because your approach is a little bit different than my approach. I'm bodybuilding, obviously, and
I'm doing nothing.
No, you're just cutting. You've been fucking lean before I've seen it.
I appreciate it.
I guess take me through how long your cut is, the food you eat, how you approach that, and then I'll explain, and then I might have some
criticisms.
Yeah.
So I do it like, I'm just going to go over pretty much how I dieted last year, which is how I'm going to diet like every year in the future. Because I've tried everything. I've tried like low carb. I've tried, keto, just like chicken, broccoli, rice. And last year I had like the biggest success. So I tried like an extreme deficit is what they call it. So basically I was eating 3,200 calories during my bulk and I cut that down to like 1,600. Very low calories, especially for like a grown man. and I lost 20 pounds in 8 weeks, and I was able to maintain like my overall health. I actually did my blood work before and after. My testosterone before was 781, before was 781, and after was 717. So even after like 8 weeks of hardcore dieting, it didn't drop too much. You know, that's still very healthy testosterone.
Damn. Yeah.
And I just did that by mainly focusing on like high fat diet. So I would pretty much just eat beef, eggs, avocado, and like some high fiber tortillas or like high fiber bread. And because like once you cut away like all the calories, I only have 1,600 calories for the day. So I can't swap or I can't cut protein because I need protein. You need protein to keep your muscle in your frame, you know,
Right.
maybe build it. And you can't cut fat because like fat is necessary to regulate your proper hormones or proper hormone function. So I basically had to cut out carbs almost like, not to nothing. I would have carbs pre-workout, but fat and protein were so important that you know, the calories have to come from somewhere. So I would cut them out through carbs. And so I'd maybe have around 170, 180 grams of protein. I always tried to have above like 50 to 60 grams of fat at least, because that's what I found like helps me maintain like a normal brain. Like, you know, you've had brain fog, I'm sure, like when you've been dieting, that's the worst. Like, and I can honestly say like that last diet, it was pretty, like I was pretty with it, like pretty much the whole time. I actually kept my cardio to a minimum, not on purpose, just because cardio takes a lot of energy. And I was already on so low of calories that I was like, yeah, let me just, you know, save the energy I have for like the gym. And then I would go play, to be fair, I would play like pickleball maybe 2-3 times a week, just something fun like that. Go on like walks every once in a while. No set like fasted cardio, 6 a.m., nothing like that. Yeah. And that is going to be my approach to dieting from now on. 20 pounds in 8 weeks. What is yours?
So 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with a couple of those. I would say 8 weeks. It depends where I'm at, but right now I could definitely diet down to what I need to be body fat wise in 8 weeks. I do agree. What I do agree with is the fat. I am a big fan of fat. It just makes me feel better. I have more energy, mental clarity. A lot of the times, even in an off season, I'll be quick to up my fats before I do my carbs or protein, just because when I slam a bunch of carbs, I just feel like shit. Like,
really?
I am sluggish. I don't feel good. I just feel like shit. So I'm big on fats, but for me, it's usually like, I mean, damn. After 10 weeks, I'll be dieting for like well over 21 weeks. So
half a year of dieting, but that's also like circumstantial, right? You didn't you didn't plan to do this.
No. I didn't say I'm gonna diet for fucking 27 weeks.
So like, what would be your if everything worked out? How many weeks would you have been dieting? 12. Okay, so that's normal.
16, 12.
That's pretty low. 12 is pretty low, from what I've heard.
Yeah. So it's not bad, and honestly, I've been loving it, so it's not too much of an issue, and it's not like I'm on 1,600 calories. I'm not trying to like...
No, you're a much bigger guy. You need more food. Like,
I don't feel like starving, or I'm not suffering, or whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, even when I was on 1,600, like I just get into like a groove, and I honestly wasn't hungry that much throughout my like diet. It's just like hunger is a huge mental thing, and I would just like I would obviously have a bunch of diet soda, a bunch of water, and I was kind of chilling. Fat and protein keeps you full. Like I would basically just have beef and eggs. Like, bro, eat 4 eggs, that shit fills you up. Like even if it's just eggs, like
fat definitely makes me feel a lot more satiated than like. If I just have protein and carbs, I am burning through that quick.
Yeah,
even if I had 6 meals of, you know, high to moderate protein and even high to moderate carbs and 0 fat, I am burning through that a lot quicker than I am with the fats that slow that process down.
If you've ever heard of like the vertical diet, it's pretty much just like rice and stuff like that, and it's basically that. And people struggle with hunger on it because you just run through it. Yeah,
I've tried the vertical diet in high school. I loved it. It made me strong as shit. I felt good. I think I was using a little bit too much fat, but yeah, I was also natural back then, so that's expected. But yeah, as far as the snacks and stuff and protein bars and protein fucking cakes, whatever, Do you fit, if you have 1,600, like, do you fit those things in a cut if you want it? Like, if you're like, I have a sweet tooth, I'm going to do whipped cream and a protein bar, do you fit that in your diet?
Yeah, if I'm like really craving a sweet, I would go first. I'd probably go for something like extremely low calorie, like sugar-free Jello. You ever had that? It's like 5 calories. I would try to cure the sweet tooth with something that's like basically 0 calories.
Right.
And if it's not, like there was a lot of times I would have protein bars when I was cutting, but that's mostly because I was like out of the house, or I was like, I was just going and I got hungry and I was like, it's gonna be another 2 hours before I get food. I need something, and I'm not gonna go, there's just no food near me, so I'm just gonna have a protein bar. But I would fit those in. Not ideally though, because like protein bars, 200 calories for a little thing like this.
It's terrible.
It's not too much when I could have like a lot of beef and eggs. So ideally, no, but there's certain cases, yes, of course. Like I'm only human. I'm not gonna. I would much rather have a protein bar and go over by like 100 calories, 200 calories a day than starve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that was
yeah.
kind of my outlook on things. And I guess I would have a protein bar if by the end of the day I wasn't at my calories and I knew I wasn't going to be struggling with hunger. Because that was my biggest thing, like throughout, is like I just want to make sure I'm satiated and not hungry. Because when you're hungry, bro, you some binges can happen. You can go crazy.
Tell me about that, yeah.
Have you ever messed up on a diet?
I
Ever
mean,
bombed out of a show or something?
I wouldn't say I messed up, but I have had cheat meals that have been pretty extended, like pretty lengthy, I will say.
What's your wildest cheat meal? Your wildest binge fest? People love to hear this. This will do great.
I've had
Clip this.
2 dozen donuts,
What kind?
Krispy Kreme.
Ooh, so at least they're a little light. Like
Yeah, 2 dozen.
that's a
But
lot.
He doesn't
though.
get the glazed one.
Oh, you get the you don't get the glazed ones. You get the.
No.
Those can be like 400
I
a
get
piece.
the
tender for
filling and
oh,
all,
the
baby.
filled one. Krispy Kreme is gas. Those things go down so easy. I can't blame you at all.
Fuck. 4 double-doubles from In-N-Out.
Was this like the same time or was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
the
yeah.
separate time?
This is the same sitting.
24 donuts at least. Let's say average 300 calories. So what's that? 1236. That's at least 7,200 calories with the donuts
4
alone.
double-doubles,
I don't know what that is right there, but a lot. 4 double
In-N-Out, and 4 fries, and a milkshake. And it was large. It was a lot, but I mean, I felt fucking great when I woke up.
Really? What? How about going
I definitely
to bed?
didn't sleep though. Every time I have a cheat meal, I sweat
Yeah.
my ass off.
I was about to ask. You turn into like a furnace. Like your body
Yes,
just like
it's
just
terrible.
doesn't know what to do, and you just get super hot. Your heartbeat starts like
Oh, dude.
racing like all night long. I'm trying
I'm
to
like,
sleep, and I'm like,
Am I gonna fucking die right now?
yeah. That's happened to me before too.
Yeah,
that
but-
sounds like a pretty fun evening though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was.
Did you track everything? Do you remember the calories?
I don't track any of my cheat meals. That's another thing that I just don't.
I mean,
do.
you're already over the edge. Like it's
Yeah.
not the biggest
I'm
deal.
already,
But I was
I'm already
wondering.
too far gone.
What prompted that cheat? Like, were you preparing and there's like I'm hungry and then it just got out of hand?
No, I just.
Or was it a planned one?
It was a planned one,
Oh,
but you know.
all part of the plan, all part of the program.
It probably only should have been maybe half of that. Not nearly as much as I had ate.
Once you got started.
Man, it was just. There's probably more that I'm not thinking of. I know there's one time I had like over 2 dozen donuts, but
Over to. Do you live by the Krispy Kreme? Like, damn.
nah.
You drove all the way out there.
Yeah.
You're just like 45-minute drive and just
Yeah.
being like, I'm gonna get this.
I'm
That's so
determined
funny.
when it comes to cheat meals and donuts. I love donuts.
Donuts are the best.
So, but yeah, I guess, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I saw Mike Israetel talking about how there was an argument on a podcast where he said if you're in a prep, specifically a prep, and you want to have a protein bar as long as it fits your calories for the day, every single day, that is the same as getting it from a lean meat source and a clean carbohydrate. And for me, I've never done that. So I'm thinking there was 2 sides. Obviously, he's saying that's totally fine because if it fits your macros, then it fits. But for me, the argument would be, and was for the people disagreeing, would be that the protein bar has a bunch of extra stuff in it. Like, I don't know, like the oils or whatever else it is. So to me, it's not going to be the same as chicken and rice if I have a Quest bar or whatever protein bar that this person chooses for the next 8 weeks, for me, it is, in my head, it's going to affect my look because it's not technically as clean or as lean as whole food. So,
You want me to
how do you feel about that?
When I look at that, first of all, your example against it, in my opinion, was a pretty poor one. You would compare the protein bar to chicken and rice. So chicken already has like almost no macronutrients, not none, or no micronutrients, not none, but it almost has like zero fat. You know what I'm saying? So like a much better choice would be like beef or steak, or something that's like eggs, salmon, something that's
pick anything.
Something
man.
that's more nutrient dense.
Clean food.
Yeah, in theory, that would be better. If you compare like apples to apples, like what is better for your health, what is better for muscle building, probably this one. But do I think it's going to make any sort of difference? No. Especially, like, you've dieted and you've bulked on, like, probably a bunch of different meals before, right?
Yeah.
I've bulked on, like, everything. Kind of all the same. Like, I've never went from, like, a dirty bulk to, like, a clean one and being like, oh, my God, I'm so much stronger now that I'm eating only chicken and rice. Have you?
Well, in a bulk,
exactly,
I'm eating a shit ton of food anyways, so if I add something or replace something, it's not going to make a big deal. But if you're in a prep, I feel like it will somewhat affect. I think you'll get more benefit out of salmon, beef, steak, even if it's a fatty steak, compared to the protein bar, because also digestion, if I know I digest steak and rice amazing, it's just going to be better digestion overall. I'm going to feel better. I get to eat more food than a protein bar like this, like you said. So to me, it just makes more sense. But
there's like so many angles you could look at this from, because you could say a lot of protein bars out there are extremely high in fiber. If you're eating like beef and eggs, you don't get much fiber. So your like protein bar that's like filled with 20 grams of fiber could actually be very beneficial, because you can make an argument that it helps like your gut microbiome. It's like fills you up. It helps you keep you regular. All this stuff. And let's say if it's one protein bar, 20 grams of protein out a year, you probably eat 250 grams of protein a day, right? When you're dieting?
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah, 20 out of 250, not the biggest deal. I think you would, I think if you like duplicated yourself and fed like yourself these two diets, I don't think you would really notice a difference.
Okay.
100% less than 1 pound of difference.
What about
either muscle or fat, and you can't really tell 1 pound.
What about the added
way less than that
shit in the protein bar?
So sucralose, so like any sweetener, that's fine. It's like you drink diet soda every day, don't you?
There's more shit than sucralose in a protein bar.
There's like a bunch of stuff, but like there's a bunch of stuff in everything. I don't know, like it's just little chemicals.
That's true.
Have you ever heard of people vaping? There's always people who like vape who then they complain about, diet soda and stuff.
I'm not complaining about diet soda.
It's the same sweetener. I could pull out what about this? Let's say you have a protein bar versus a glass of milk. What do you think about those two comparisons?
Well, I've tried to have dairy in a prep, and I hold water. That's me, though. Okay. It could work for people. I don't do dairy in prep because I hold water. So
what would be better for muscle build, or let's say if you didn't hold water?
Protein bar.
It's a trick question. Do you know?
Because I'm gonna eat it.
No, because like a lot of protein bars are made from whey. You know what whey is made from? It's a byproduct of cheese, which is dairy.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Okay.
I don't think it matters too much. I don't think anyone has lost the show because they had a protein bar during their day.
Yeah, that's true. But then you look at the pros, and nobody's eating protein bars in prep.
Is that true? But I don't. You don't know what they're eating. You don't follow they have their full day of eating on YouTube. They just binged last night. They're not talking about their double. All right, what do you think does more damage? You have this guy who's having his protein bar, or you who has your like beef every day, except maybe one day you have your 24 donuts. Which one of those does more damage to the overall prep?
I mean, so what? You're comparing if I were to have a protein bar, so that would be my baseline diet compared to a cheat meal?
Yeah, you have protein bar every single day on this diet. I mean, on diet B, you're perfect.
Obviously,
with beef, but one day you go crazy and have 24 donuts.
Obviously, no cheat meal is gonna make more sense.
So which one would you rather choose? Would you rather be a diet B, one cheat meal, or diet A, where you
Well,
have a
me
protein bar
personally,
a day?
I'd rather look forward to a cheat meal. So I don't give a fuck about a protein bar.
But I know not what you would look forward to.
Okay, then the
what would
protein
be
bar.
what would provide a better show experience, a show whatever, show day look?
Probably the protein bar, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to be exactly perfect
Yeah.
for it to matter. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like everyone has like their days where they eat whatever on like prep or you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. That
I think
makes sense.
you're splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think the difference between my physique and your physique is a protein bar.
No.
I mean, if I just had one more protein bar.
Yeah. I just heard the argument.
That's an interesting argument, though. I like
Yeah,
arguing
yeah,
about this.
in a podcast, and I was like, okay, I guess if I wasn't bodybuilding, I would 100%, I would add stuff to my diet every single day and keep it in my set base of macros. But if I'm bodybuilding, then I don't think I'm gonna have a protein bar in there.
I see what you're saying. I see this all the time with like bodybuilders. They cut out like a weird shit. Like you said, you cut out dairy in your diet. Let's say you love dairy, you wanted to have it in your diet. Why do people cut it out for their whole prep? Why don't they just cut it out for like the last 2 weeks, the last month? Like
That's
if I'm already
mostly
is that what you're
what
saying?
I'm talking
Okay.
about. Yeah, and just digestion. I don't digest dairy well, so
Got you.
if
That
somebody
makes sense.
liked dairy, I mean, like Greek yogurt and stuff, I don't see how that could be a problem if they don't, if they can digest it.
I love dairy, especially because I'm like bulking now, so it's like a little tougher for me to get in calories. So it's like milk in a brownie, like a protein brownie. You know, it's like
Damn.
milk's the easy way to get in calories. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
I
just like-
remember
I love that. Sweet.
Fairlife milk.
Yeah.
I did drink a lot of that in my off season.
I just drink regular milk because Fairlife is expensive and I need the calories anyway. So it's like you get like a $3 gallon of 1 or 2%.
Sam Sulek is a big fan of milk as well.
And guess what? I feel like I'm stronger than ever on milk. Than you know, it doesn't matter. It's not like
No, I agree with that. In a bulk, I mean, I could pretty much eat whatever the hell I want, and I still feel the same.
Yeah, you're like the same strength.
If anything,
the
I
same
feel better because my sodium's jacked up. Everything's fucking. I feel full. I feel like if I just did only clean food in an off season, I might not feel as strong. So who knows?
I have a question for you. I don't even know if you know the answer, but speaking of like cutting things out for diet and prep, I've heard of people cutting out like caffeine on like peak week. What's the point of that?
I know there's some sort of correlation to cortisol, like it jacks your cortisol,
Got you.
or it can, and
Yeah.
then when your cortisol's high, you hold water, you're stressed out. So that's
Gotcha,
probably
makes
what
sense.
it is.
I've heard people cut out like diet soda on peak week too, and it's like
I don't know.
99% water.
I've never even. I mean, I've done one show, but I didn't cut water.
One more than me.
Yeah, I haven't cut water.
Two experts here.
Yeah, I haven't cut sodium. I don't think I'm going to this show either. So
Not gonna cut sodium. Are you watching? I actually looked into that. It was Wayne Norton had a video about like not cutting sodium. Is that like the method you're following?
yeah, I just think that.
He had a really good argument. So I don't know what's
Yeah.
right because you hear some people swear by cutting sodium.
I don't. I mean, this is the only time in a cut I've ever tracked my sodium. I'm doing 1/4 teaspoon of just pink salt in every meal. I think that's just to be consistent with my fullness in the muscle, and hydration and stuff. But I don't plan to. I don't really want to. I've heard of some awful stories with bodybuilders, and the higher you go up, the more there's like water cuts, and you have to make weight and using water diuretics, cutting sodium, cutting water. I don't want to mess with all that. I just want to, if I'm lean enough, I should be able to step on stage and look good at a local show. That's how I feel. Maybe if I'm a pro, it might be different, but I'm going to try to steer away from.
That's a valid opinion. I hear a lot of people complain about being like, oh, I mistimed this, or I had too much salt, or I didn't cut it late enough. It's like, bro, you just weren't lean enough. Like,
No. Exactly. That's why I'm like, if I'm shredded 3 weeks out from the show, I'm going to be shredded when I step on stage, and I don't want to have to rely on, oh, I forgot a teaspoon of sodium. Now my body is inflamed or something.
No,
I don't want to do that.
I've heard of people, even like at the Olympia level, I heard someone like mistimed a meal and he dropped out. It's like,
Yeah.
You mistimed the meal?
Weird
and you
stuff.
dropped out? Like, I've obviously never competed, so I should shut up, but.
No, I
So
agree.
it's all interesting.
I agree.
What's the reason that they cut sodium out
It has
close to the show, just for people that don't?
a lot of the reason I think people cut sodium out before show is because it can like mess with your water retention level. So you want to kind of like, you want to be as lean as possible on your show day. You should probably talk about this because you know better. But like, I would like you want to be as lean as possible on show day. So you want to kind of get all of the water out of your system because you hold a lot of water, like 5-10 pounds or something. Yeah. So if you could magically get rid of it, you look a lot leaner. Yeah. So people take diuretics. I know people who have like alcohol the night before. Some take shots.
I did that
some to pee it out. Like
alcohol
there's
and coffee.
A ton of different ways people try to like get the water rate out. It's a way to get a lot leaner without actually losing fat.
Yeah.
And I've heard people can cut like 1 to 3% of body fat just by manipulating sodium in their carbs and stuff.
Yeah.
The last week or so.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's pretty much, to my understanding, that's all it is just getting that last little film of water between the skin and the muscle, flushing that out. I don't really, again, I've never done it, but I think you cut sodium, you jack up your water, and then you stop drinking water and you do something that like...
There's like so many different ways people do it.
Diuretic or caffeine or something. It's just to get leaner, or if you have, it can be more aggressive if you have to do it to make a weight, which can also mess up your look. It can be beneficial if you're not worried about a weight cap. I think it can be beneficial if you do it right and don't make any crazy changes. But if you're like, I got to drop 10 pounds in 1 day, 2 days, I have to do the sauna, I have to cut sodium. To me, that's too much stress on the body, and you're not going to look the way you want. You're not going to look fresh on stage. So,
I know a lot of people, I feel like if I were to cut water and all that kind of stuff, I would feel terrible and it'd be tough to pose on stage and like you'd cramp up and you know what I'm saying? I feel like it'd be so difficult because I don't know if you guys have ever tried posing. That's a like very tough thing to do. It's like very taxing. You've probably seen bodybuilders be like sweating on stage, like sweating through their tan. It's like holding a flex for that long is very exhausting. Yeah. And if I have no water, bro, I'm done for.
Yeah. Plus, when you're flat, if you're too flat, you can't feel the muscle. Like when you contract, if you're super flat, there's no fullness. I'm not gonna feel my back double bicep. I'm not gonna be able to connect with any of my muscles. It's just gonna be flat, which is the worst case. You don't want to do that.
Aren't muscles 70% water or something anyway? So there like has to be some water in there. So
if not, you're fucked.
Yeah. Have you ever had it worked out dehydrated? It's terrible. Like you just like you can feel it right away. You're just like not as efficient. Like,
energy's terrible. Contractions are terrible. Pumps are fucking awful.
Yeah.
Just like go to the gym
go with first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
That's what
I did that this morning. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm not recommending go to the gym in the morning
have a shitty workout, guys.
But if you have to do it one day and you compare it to training maybe mid to end of the day or night, and you're well fed, hydrated, it's gonna be
night and day.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something people like don't talk about enough is like proper hydration for like your workout and everything. It's so like closely related. I think 10% loss in hydration is like a 30% loss in strength or something like it. It's some crazy...
That's what it feels like.
It's some crazy like a statistic like that. So I always make sure I'm like well hydrated. I got like electrolytes, everything. I make sure. Yeah. And that's why people have like terrible workouts in the morning because they'll wake up and like they'll go right to the gym without fully hydrating before. Because it doesn't like you can't just wake up, have a glass of water and think you're good.
Literally what I did this morning. It was I had to hit legs.
Oh my God.
So it was terrible.
Probably weak.
I had a C4 energy drink. Didn't drink enough water. I felt awful, but the mental fatigue was almost worse.
Yeah.
Like I didn't wake up until fucking the workout was done, and I'm like, oh, I kind of feel good.
Yeah.
And it was over. I'm like, wow.
I'm always sipping on water through my workout, like especially if you work out in one of those like outdoor hot gyms, like it's over.
Yeah, you're pretty much.
Do you prefer to work out in like a hot environment or a cold environment?
Hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just feel. I mean, I don't really think it makes you any more safe, but
safe.
I just like sweating. I like sweating. I'm still gonna wear most likely a hoodie and some sweats.
Yeah.
But I feel I like to feel like I'm working, like I like to get a sweat. No matter if I'm doing bodybuilding or CrossFit, whatever, I like to be sweating. I like to feel like I'm doing something, so it makes me feel a little bit more productive.
For me, it's like the opposite. I like to work out in a cool environment. Like 62 degrees would be like
Cool
the
or
perfect gym.
cold?
62 degrees.
Okay.
So it's pretty damn cold. Like you definitely need a hoodie to be comfortable. But like once you get warmed up, once you get started like lifting, you like warm your body up, and it's just so comfortable to work in. Because when you're sweating, you think you're putting in so much effort, you think you're working really hard. But if it's cool and cold, it's you think you're not doing as much, so you can go harder. It's
That's
like
true.
They've done studies, at least for cardio, and people will go way longer if they're like cool, like on a treadmill or Stairmaster, because it seems effortless to them. So I always like to work out if I can. I mean, I don't get to choose my gym temperature, but like cool is awesome. It's like it makes me feel like so good because it's like. It's comfortable. I'm just chilling, bro. I'm not like sweating my ass off. I'm not puddled in sweat. I'm not like I don't have swamp ass.
I'm breaking
like,
a sweat right now. But
I know more people are on your side though. I rarely have anyone agree with me.
Like I would love to go train at some of the gyms in like Texas, like the old school gyms.
Yeah.
And I heard they have no fans, no
Yeah.
AC. That to me, it looks fun. It's probably not, but
It's not. So I train in Houston sometimes. It's like very humid as well. We don't realize it in California because we have dry heat here, but like the humidity is insane, and they've got gyms outside, and it's just like I walk out there and I'm just like instantly gassed. Like I'm tired. Like you've probably been a kid and fallen asleep in the car, like a hot car. You just like you're out.
yeah,
It's that same sort of like you just get like lulled to sleep in a way. In my opinion. And in science's opinion.
Yeah.
It just seems so much harder. Like, would you rather work a manual labor job outside in the hot sun all day? Or would you rather, be a nice, cool 65-degree day? There's your answer.
That's a little different now. Yeah. But I don't know. Something about sweating in the gym just makes me feel great. It makes me feel euphoric. But yeah, maybe cool weather.
How do you ensure staying full on stage without holding too much water? Because it seems like you have to find like a balance of like not cutting too much water and then not being full or being too full and not looking as lean.
I don't really know the science behind that at all. That's a great question that I wish I knew the answer to.
Yeah.
You should probably repeat the question if they couldn't hear it.
What'd you say? Oh, you said how do you balance fullness and cutting water, right? Cutting sodium and stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, from everybody I've listened to or asked, it's just trial and error. It's really just figuring your body out, learning your body. If you're with a coach, allowing your coach to figure out your body, you're probably not going to nail it the first time or even the second time. But over time, you'll figure out, okay, maybe I don't need to cut sodium. I just taper my water off throughout the week. Or a lot of people, like 3 weeks out, if they're lean enough, they'll actually try like a mini peak. So that way, by the time they get to the show, it's like, okay, I know how I'm going to respond. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did 3 weeks out, and we're going to apply it to show day. I think that's a little bit smarter than just winging it and hoping for the best. But yeah, like when it comes to food and digestion and figuring out like, maybe you can, I don't know, a lot of people carb up, they deplete super hard, they carb up with like McDonald's and stuff. I'm like, you didn't eat that the entire prep. That's just going to make my stomach out to here, and I'm going to sweat and I'm going to look terrible. So, yeah.
My favorite is, I don't know if you've seen this at your one show. I haven't seen it at my zero shows, but like when people are eating like chicken and rice backstage, it's like, bro, the diet's over. Like you're about to go on show or you're about to step on stage in like 20 minutes. Like the diet is done.
Yeah.
Like your chicken isn't doing anything. Like
no, especially
your salmon, you're like, it's over, bro. You need to like just eat random stuff. I know a lot of people eat like Rice Krispies or dry carbs or just like a bunch of carbs to fill up.
Yeah, carbs I guess make sense. I would go for like a Gatorade or something. Or like a liquid IV or something that's just gonna hydrate me. But
even after you're dehydrated?
It depends what I'm doing. If am I backstage and going back on stage to keep fullness? If it was that and I just needed carbs or something to fill me out, I would probably pick, I don't know, something that's gonna hydrate me compared to just, I don't know, eating Rice Krispie. I don't fucking know. But Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me how people are eating. Like, I saw people eating like steak
backstage.
I'm like, that's not gonna digest for so
over.
long.
Yeah, tomorrow you'll look great. That'll make you look great tomorrow.
Yeah, like any meat you're eating is, especially red meat, that's not gonna digest quick enough. Like, you just need, if you're gonna eat some carbs for fullness and get on stage in a couple hours. But yeah, that never made sense to me. So you're just it's gonna be sitting in your stomach. You're not gonna get a good pump of fullness.
The steak is in protein is like the worst thing because it's like the slowest digesting.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
And like if it's the slowest digesting, it's gonna sit in your stomach the longest, and you want your stomach to look as like skinny, as lean as possible. You want like nothing in there. That's why a lot of people like don't really eat much.
Yeah, I can understand like rice cakes or honey or like any type of liquid, maybe sugary carb, like a little bit, but I don't know. You got to figure out your guy's own body, because...
Did you ever see some goofy stuff backstage? Like, besides that, what was like the craziest thing you saw at like your show?
Man, I don't really... It was in San Diego, but it was only... I mean, I was only back there for a couple, like, maybe an hour and a half in total from morning to night.
Yeah. No one fainted or nothing?
No, I would say there was like a little argument, and I mean, people were vaping, so that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, but other than that, it was pretty big. Everybody, I was going into it a little bit intimidated, but everybody was super supportive. They were like offering me Swedish fish and shit, so I was like,
that's
cool. Yeah, but it was pretty low key.
How do you know what, like, as someone who's never competed, like poses to do? Like, how do you know what to do when they're like, all right, you're on stage? I was like, what do I do?
Well, there's mandatories, and then there's your routine. So, like, mandatories is like...
Is it separate, like...
Yeah,
they're like, all right, guys, do your mandatories.
Yeah.
All right, front double by.
Exactly.
Do they say that? Okay.
Yeah, and that's you're in a lineup, and you hit your mandatories. So front lat spread, back double, side chest, side tricep, all of those, abs and thighs. And then you come back out individually and you do your routine, which is like the whole music. I'm not a big fan, but you do your whole music routine and you kind of like flow.
That's tough. That'd be the toughest thing for me to do. What was your song?
It was some reggae song last time, but I actually forgot to tell them, so they played some random techno shit. Yeah.
That's so awkward. Did it still flow the same?
Yeah. I just did what I was supposed to do, and it was cool.
And that's it? And that's the only time you're on stage, and then they announced to, like, one?
Yeah.
Did you have to do any pose downs against people?
Did you have to pose down against
anyone? Because they kind of do that for if, like, second and third is close, they'll have both of them come out and do it, or is that just kind of for the optics at, like, the big shows?
I mean, no, really just lineups.
It
was just lineups.
Is the routine specific to your class?
Like my personal routine?
No, like does some class don't do routines?
No, every class does their own solo routine, but as far as mandatories, those are different.
Okay.
Like classic, I forgot which one classic doesn't do. Classic doesn't do a... fuck, which one is it? Is it I don't know. But classic and open, obviously men's physique is just this. But classic and open have different mandatories. Not by much, but yeah.
Even men's physique does a routine?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That'd probably be like the thing I would regret most, not regret most, but be intimidated most by. Gotta go do a dancing routine? What is half naked?
Some people do dance. If you've ever seen Kai Green, he's like actually dancing. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
But
how long is it?
Bodybuilding is weird. I think it's like close to a minute. I think it's a minute.
God. I gotta be naked on stage.
It might be
for a
less.
minute.
Yeah, it might be less, but a minute. Just around.
How'd you come up with yours? Was it like, is there?
I didn't.
Oh, really?
I didn't.
You just went to freestyle?
I'd freestyle, baby.
No way. You just went out there and like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
I'm just like, I'm gonna slap all the mandatories together and try to do like transitions that are cool, and that's what we're gonna do.
How'd you do in the show?
I did good. I won.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you can just do whatever you want then. Yeah. I guess there's no rules.
No.
Someone who was doing like double backflips on stage was pissed they lost.
Yeah, there's people get into it, man. You're supposed to, Like I respect people that can and they love it, but to me, I'm like, man, I just can't ever get into the posing like that.
I'd be afraid I'd run out of ideas and then just repeat.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna
another front double bicep.
Another
Another
follow
side
the body,
chest.
see what happens.
That's crazy. That would make me so nervous. Like taking a girl to a first dance or something. Like, geez.
Yeah, considering I'm terrible at social media, it was nerve-wracking for sure. So yeah, we'll hopefully be a little bit more improved this next show.
Do you have a routine for this show?
Nah.
No, you're just doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to say Kenny and they're going to be like, okay.
I'll practice for this. This one's going to be more competitive, this sack show, the Governor's Cup.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to, pull something out of my ass and figure it out. So.
That's so crazy. I totally forgot about the routines and everything.
Yeah, but bodybuilding's weird. It is weird, I must say. For being somewhat definitely introverted, it is an interesting choice by myself.
What part of it would you want to change? Like of the actual show day? Like, I wish I didn't have to do a routine. I wish I didn't have to wear this dumb Speedo.
Yeah, I wish we didn't have to just get on stage.
What if you could submit photos via Dropbox and be like, this is how I look. I promise there's no Photoshop.
Yeah, we just sit in the crowd, the judges pull up, compare photos, and then whoever wins, wins.
You must buy this thing. Have you ever done any powerlifting competitions? Because you're pretty strong.
Yeah, I've done 2 when I was 19, both of them. Yeah.
How'd you like that compared to bodybuilding?
I love powerlifting training way more.
Yeah.
I love just fucking...
It's easy. You don't have to be in a deficit.
Yeah.
You're just eating, sit. You just get fat.
Eat whatever you want.
And then
get
train.
Strong, super strong. You don't really... The workouts are a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. They're not as fast paced, but you also aren't really doing as much. It's just like... your squat, deadlift, bench days, that lift takes a while to warm up, to hit your 5x5 or whatever. After that, it's pretty easy. So yeah, I've always liked strength training a bit more than bodybuilding, hypertrophy.
So would you ever go back? You're going to go back to powerlifting?
Yeah, for sure. I want to get,
But do you think your body dysmorphia will hit and you're like, I'm so fat now? I miss bodybuilding.
Maybe now that I've done a couple preps, but back then I didn't have it when I was powerlifting because the focus wasn't on how you looked.
Yeah.
The focus was on
your weight.
How efficiently can I move this weight? How strong can I get? How much can I progress? So that I have my shirt off more back then than I do now.
Damn.
Yeah.
What were your all-time records for squat, bench, deadlift?
Fuck, man.
There's no way you don't remember off the top of your head. That's crazy.
No, I don't, because it was 3 years ago.
That's not that long. For your all-time?
I think I had a 699 deadlift, which is, I'm going to get way past that now. This is when I was natty, too.
699? Holy shit. How much did you weigh?
Like under 220.
That's crazy.
I was in the 220 weight class, I think, but then I came in way lighter because I didn't eat and stuff. But yeah, I just showed up. But my squat was high 5s, and then my bench was like 385.
Okay.
So all those numbers I plan to obliterate now, but yeah.
Those are big numbers.
Yeah, for being.
Did you ever hit like anything higher than that? Just like not in competition?
Yeah, I hit 705 deadlift in the gym a couple times. I've hit a 600 squat.
That's crazy.
And then bench, I've hit 4 plates multiple times, but yeah, that's about it.
That's nuts. Bro, that's so strong.
Thank you.
You gotta get back to it after the bodybuilding show.
No, yeah, I think that'll be fun if I do a power.
Or even like strongman. When we went down to LA and did strongman that one day, what was that stone?
The Atlas stone?
That was a pretty heavy stone.
I think it was like a 350-pound stone.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was fun.
Lizzo stone.
I love stuff like that.
A 350-pound stone is crazy.
I love stuff like that, yeah. But
that's nuts.
What now, Wyatt Films?
I mean, we're good. We've been going for a
while.
time.
Fuck yeah.
Big yapper.
All right, guys. So that is enough anabolic activities for today. I hope you enjoy the episode. I hope you gain some great info on social media, on how to stop being a bitch, on diet, training, just everything. We kind of just sat and just went back and forth. It was a genuine conversation. I didn't have any game plan. I wasn't trying to ask them, you know, so how did you get into lifting? I was just asking questions that popped into my head. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Like the video, comment. If you have any ideas for topics next week, let us know. Leave a review on Spotify. We really appreciate all the support. And I'll see you guys next week.
Do you have anything to plug?
Oh, yeah, no, that's all good. Just follow me at the Nutrition Narc. It's all good.
Yeah.
Echo
him.
code Narc.
Use this code,
That's
Echo code Narc.
It's chill.
All
Echo
those
Vision.
links will be in the description.